Welcome to the College Fairs of Greater Denver. My name is Jasmine. I'm going to serve as a facilitator for our session today. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping announcements. The first announcement, your camera and microphone are off, so we cannot see or hear you. Second announcement, you can use the Q&A button to type your questions to our presenters at any point throughout our session today. Third announcement, we're offering a few different sessions, so feel free to visit our registration site to sign up for additional sessions. And finally, this presentation is being recorded, and you'll have access to that recording by visiting the website on your screen. With all that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our first presenter from the Colorado School of Mines.
Awesome. Thank you, Jasmine. And thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Let me just get my screen share going here. There we go. Awesome. So I'm really excited to talk to all of you a little bit tonight about Colorado School of Mines and our campus in Golden and some of the opportunities you can expect to see and what sort of students we love to have here. So I think a good place to start is kind of big picture, what kind of campus we are and what sort of opportunities you'll find. So we're located here in Golden, just a little bit west of Denver, and we're best described as definitely like a smaller type of university. Our student population right now this fall is just around 6,800 students. And I think that's a really good balancing point because it's definitely a campus that's big enough to give our students lots of really cool opportunities, as we'll see here kind of throughout the presentation, but is also small enough to provide them with a really tight-knit community where they get lots of cool experiences and make really cool connections. Now, academically, we're definitely a little bit more focused with a name like Colorado School of Mines. We are a STEM university with a particular emphasis on the engineering field. So 39 different programs our students can take a look at, ranging from things like mining engineering to computer science, economics, and even a program for students who are interested in biomedical and pre-med tracks called quantitative bioscience and engineering. So quite a bit of variety, and our students can go even farther than that and customize their programs and degrees with different minors and areas of special interest. So if you're a student who's really passionate about the STEM fields and interested in that, Mines can be a really good fit. And again, that campus size ends up being a really good balancing point because the experience in the classroom is, of course, really important to our students when we're talking about smaller class sizes and connecting with the professors, but so is that one outside the classroom when we look at involvement, clubs, activities, whether that's outdoors, enjoying everything Colorado has to offer, or a club or activity group here on campus. So we kind of sit in this nice middle balancing point. Now, one of the big things that we like to emphasize for students when they're considering Mines and the type of education we offer is what that experience looks like for them when they're here. And this slide, I think, does a really good job of sharing or teasing a little bit of what that experience could look like. As a research school, we are really into hands-on learning for our students. We want to make sure that we're getting them outside of a classroom or a lecture hall and into a hands-on space for what we're teaching them. Now, depending on what they're studying, that can look a lot of different ways. But the whole idea is that we want you actually practically applying and getting your hands dirty with what we're teaching you. And this actually starts early. This starts your very first year with us on campus. We have 4 signature experiences. They're called Cornerstone, Field Session, Undergrad Research, and then Capstone, your final year with us. And they build off of each other during your time here at Mines to make sure that you're getting the best possible type of education to prepare you for that step after you graduate. Don't get me wrong, we love having you here on campus, but we want to make sure you're ready for those next steps afterwards. And our students have done some really cool research and different projects through these experiences. Our students in Cornerstone Design, which is that first year experience, have done everything from develop bicycle helmets that can detect concussion risks and ocean water cleanup. Then we've also seen students all the way up in Capstone do things like design concrete canoes, convert retro VW buses to be fully compliant new electric vehicles, build Formula One race cars. There's lots of really cool stuff you can do in these experiences. So if you're that type of student who really likes to learn in a hands-on environment, Mines, again, can be a really good fit for you. Now, talking a little bit about kind of how the student experience fits into this and what we look for in students, I think the important thing to remember is as a competitive and selective institution that's focusing in STEM, we're going to pay attention to a lot of different parts of that experience for you. So, we're going to look at your math and science courses, we're going to look at your high school transcripts, but we look at the entire student experience. So what you've done outside the classroom, any letters of recommendation you have, short response prompts, there's a lot of different pieces of the puzzle we consider when making sure a student would be a good fit here at Minds. Now that application can be accessed in a couple different ways. Our application is available online through the Golden app, which is our own application here at Minds, or new for this year, we're also on the Common application for students. So whichever is most convenient for you, we recommend taking a look at and doing that. Our application timeline is open right now. So it's been open since around August. Some of you might have gone through that already, but you have basically from now until November 1st for our priority submission window. That's the best window to submit your application for best consideration here at Minds. Students who have their application submitted by November 1st will have a decision from us by the holiday season. So you get to hear a little bit sooner. You don't have to make a decision right away, but you hear sooner. You can make plans going forward and compare it to other offers and start doing those other kind of pieces of the puzzle. The biggest thing to keep in mind, again, we're looking for those students who are well-rounded. They have good academic skills and abilities, but they're also able to push themselves outside the classroom, whether that's a club, activity, community service, or involvement, or anything like that. So I'm all for being humble, but this isn't where you want to do it. Tell us about those experiences you've had on the application, because we do pay attention to this sort of stuff. And the last big thing to mention, because we know that there's no way to get a ton of information about any school you're interested in a small window or even at a bigger fair, we always encourage students to come and visit and do an in-person visit with us. We're offering those Monday through Friday, multiple times a day. So if you want to come down, take a tour, connect with one of our admissions counselors, we've got plenty of opportunities for those coming up here for students. And you can just register for those online at minds.edu. But that in a very short, about 6 minutes, is our campus kind of in a nutshell, all the things we do, some of those opportunities, and potentially what you could see with us. So with that, I will turn my screen share off here and turn it back over, I believe, to Jasmine.
Thank you so much, Max. Our next presenter is Regis University.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nicole Dole. I'm going to just pull up my PowerPoint here. I'm one of our assistant directors of admissions. So Regis University, we're located about 10 minutes from downtown Denver. We are a small Jesuit Catholic university. Being Jesuit, we do have 27 sister schools. Essentially, our mission is to educate men and women in the service of others and to provide a transformative education where students can seek to build a more just and humane world is essentially our mission. We are about 2,000 undergrads. Total population for Regis is about 10,000. So our smallest college is Regis College, which is our undergrads of about 2,000. We have about 4,500 graduate and doctoral students on campus. And then we also have about 3,000 online learners as well. We are a liberal arts university. So you will take a large foundation of core requirements with us. That also enables students to double major, and double minor. And it gives you a little bit more flexibility in that core requirement where you're just really getting to experience other areas of interest outside of your major. We're also classified as a science institution, which means we have very high outcomes within the fields of healthcare and hard sciences. And we've been around since 1877. And this is our oldest building on campus. At Regis, we're a teaching university. So our average class size is about 17 students, as I mentioned. And faculty's main focus is teaching, where research comes second. So they will know your name. They will know if you're in class, not in class. If you do want research opportunities, we have those available for you. Being small, faculty really knows what our students want. And if research is part of that, they are more than happy to help you come into their research projects. All hard science students, so anything in biochemistry, physics, mathematics, psychology, and neuroscience are all required to complete medical research before they can graduate from Regis. And we utilize CU and Schutt's Medical Campus to complete that research. Here is a list of our majors. Predominantly well known for business, healthcare, and hard sciences, as well as education. Several of our programs are 4+1, meaning you can stay for one additional year and earn a master's degree. Internship opportunities. Half of our majors require that you complete 2 internships before you're eligible to graduate. If they do not require it, they highly recommend it. So the popular internships are listed on the right hand of the screen. As I was looking these over this year, these were all rated by students. And that's because these are all paid internships. So it makes sense of why students ranked them so highly. Business students, the most popular is going to be Vail Resorts and Cronky Sports and Entertainment, which is the Nuggets and Avs, as well as Denver Art Museum for any of our visual art students. A really unique partnership we have is with the Washington Center. We get to send 5 students a year to Washington, D.C. They work 40 hours a week, and that translates back to Regis as 15 credit hours. So that work instead of taking class. But we've sent a student to the White House in 2019, French Embassy as a French translator for the Canadian Embassy, as well as campaign managers in other areas. If you're looking at pre-med, we have a really unique partnership with Denver Health, where you will get a year-long mentorship with an MD. So that is high value for us. So how do you get admitted to Regis? We are officially test optional. So we do not require the SAT or ACT unless you want to submit them. Again, test optional, meaning if you submit them, we will look at them. We're not test blind. GPA average for us is a 3.6. We encourage an essay because everything else is a letter grade or your home address, and that tells us nothing about you. So the more we learn about you, the easier it is for us to make an admission decision. Transfer credits, AP, IB, and dual enrollment will transfer, and we're rolling admissions except for nursing. So nursing has to apply by December 1st. Every other major has from now essentially till March to apply, but you need to submit an application by December to be qualified for scholarship weekend, which I will chat about quickly next. Every admitted student gets a merit scholarship that ranges between that 5 and 20,000. It's based off of your weighted high school GPA. And then we have 11 full tuition scholarships in various disciplines that you can compete for come February. So we need you admitted by December in order to invite you to that day. We also have various scholarships in honors program, debate, music, Irish community, and religious studies on our campus. And that is it. I will turn it over to Jasmine. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicole. Our next presenter is the Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design.
All right. Hello, everyone. So happy you are here with us today. I'm Juliet, Admissions Outreach Counselor Lead with REMCAD. And if you are artistically inclined, an education at Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design will help bring your creativity to life. REMCAD is a premier art and design college that's located just outside downtown Denver, and we go by REMCAD for short. Creative minds take root here for the relentless student support, innovation in both teaching and mentoring. Enlisted are REMCAD's disciplines to earn a Bachelor's of Fine Art degree. One accrediting body that holds us to a high degree of academic excellence is the National Association of School of Art and Design, or also known as NASAD. Are you a storyteller? Because a lot of storytelling goes on around here, both virtually, like in game art design, and also in real world applications, such as an interior design. You can share your story with us during the admissions interview, and we will tell you more about the REMCAD programs that interest you. You can learn more about your housing options in Denver, and financial services will also be introduced. If it's a good fit, details of portfolio submission and other requirements will be explained. Because at REMCAD, we do require a portfolio for admission, and it should be filled with original artwork, but don't put too much pressure on yourself. This is a way for us to get to know you more. If you feel like you would like a little more help with your portfolio development, go ahead, pull your phone out right now, scan this barcode. This is going to be a evening where I'm going to go through a few different ideas and tips so that you can make a portfolio that's true to your roots. It's being held on Thursday, October 7th. The QR code will bring you to registration. I'll put that link in the chat box when we're through too. So the following are some of the resources and clubs that are offered at REMCAD. Staying part of the community and getting involved is a big part of your student experience. Not only when you're with us at school, but also after you graduate. Career and Alumni Services will help our students and alumni have access to our exclusive job boards, which includes internships, professional development workshops, videos, career advising, all geared to assisting the individual find the job of their dreams. Furthermore, REMCAD Renew program will allow alumni to take classes in their degree at no cost to keep up with the changes in the creative industries. As Octavia Butler said, the only everlasting truth is change. If you take a closer look at some of the resources for our students, the Learning Commons is a hub of academic support. If you run low on food or an art supply, the Mine has your back. Student services are experts taking the stress out of schedules and payments, and our online learning management system provides your classrooms at your fingertips. Tech Bar is your technology support, and at Spectrum, you can find art supplies, branded sweatshirts, and software login information. A complimentary subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud and other industry standard digital tools are available at, let's not leave out the professional development tools as well. They all help REMCAD students succeed, including the remcad.edu email address for online discounts. The integral values of DEI guide REMCAD's academic and institutional development, serving our mission to prepare learners to be forces of change in their industries, communities, and in the world. DEI also hosts a club and an online toolkit for the community. And let's be real, you may encounter some challenges that affect your academic and personal progress during your time in college. Counseling services are available to students. They're confidential, personalized, and free of charge. And SAS is dedicated towards accommodating all learners, equal access and participation. When it comes to cost and scholarships, REMCAD tuition is affordable, about $22K per year, depending on the modality of online or on campus. Some scholarships can be found at remcad.edu. And although there is no deadline to apply, some scholarship opportunities do have a deadline in January. So it's better to start thinking about being accepted by December so you can apply for these scholarships for January. We also consider external scholarships like 529 plans, VA benefits, and financially available to those who qualify. Daily tours are hosted every day, Monday through Friday, and we're hosting a virtual open house on December 9th. You could walk through the classrooms and see the students working with their hands and all the softwares and the equipment and our beautiful facilities. Go ahead and grab that phone again, scan this QR code if you're interested in requesting information with me tonight, or you could jump right to remcad.edu. You can fill out an application online. And we will eventually want to see your portfolio, but don't worry about your standardized test right now, and there is no fee to apply. Connect with us after tonight. This is a quick presentation, so my email is here for you to jot down, take a picture of the screen. You can also follow us on Instagram to see more examples of amazing student artwork. And I want to thank you again for your attention. Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design would be honored to be part of your significant achievement of earning a Bachelor's of Fine Art degree. And we really hope you stay creative because we need your art hearts in the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next presenter is Western Colorado University.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Brianna Clark, and I'm excited to share with you a little bit about what Western Colorado University has to offer you. First and foremost, we are located in Gunnison, Colorado, so right in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. For anyone who's living on the Front Range, we're about 3.5 hours southwest of Denver, and I usually describe it to my students in that you go up the mountain, back down the mountain, and then there you are in the Gunnison Valley. Because of where we're located, our students are surrounded by all things Colorado adventure. Hiking, fishing, camping, skiing, snowboarding, you name it, we have it when it comes to that outdoor adventure. We are within 45 minutes of 2 world-class ski and snowboarding resorts. We have over 750 plus miles of mountain biking, hiking, and trail running trails surrounding us. And then we're within 18 miles of Blue Mesa Reservoir, the largest body of water in Colorado, and how we're able to say that our students can go sea kayaking. But along with providing all of that Colorado adventure and outdoor recreation for our students, we also like to call the 80% of public lands surrounding Gunnison nature's best classroom. It provides an excellent opportunity for our students to literally go out and get their hands dirty, taking water samples and doing all of the other kinds of hands-on application-based research opportunities. This is especially amazing for our students in the biology programs, recreation, outdoor education, environment and sustainability, wildlife and conservation, and really anything to do with the outdoors. It's also just a really nice environment for our students and professors who would much rather have class outside in the natural environment than in the classroom. Western is one of your smaller public options here in Colorado. We have about 3,000 students in our undergraduate population. Our average class size is 16 students, but we do guarantee you will never have a class with more than 66 students in it. That's our largest classroom on campus, and that's as many students will fit in that room. But to be honest, our professors do not like having classes with more than 50 students in it if they can help it. They much prefer being able to get to know you on a first name basis within 2 weeks of your freshman year, helping to make sure that you are achieving your goals and being able to answer your questions in person right then and there. They are also known to stop our students at the grocery store or walking across campus and just making sure that you're finding your place and seeing if you need any extra help on that homework assignment that you have coming up. Along with your professors being able to get to know you, these small class sizes really lend themselves well to being able to do those hands-on application-based learning. Very rarely is a class ever just straight lecture. It is all about having those application processes and those things that you can put on your resume as you're getting ready to apply for those jobs towards graduation time. We have over 100 different academic programs at Western. Our most popular majors are business administration, environment and sustainability, recreation, outdoor education, biology, elementary education, and exercise and sports science. But our computer science, mechanical engineering programs are also growing, and we are continually adding more accelerated degree or 3+2 programs, where you can get both your bachelor's and your master's degree in 5 years. Our most popular major for students coming in freshman year, though, is actually undecided, undeclared. So if you're unsure what you want to do with the rest of your life, or maybe if you're wavering between a few different options, that's absolutely okay. You can come on into our exploratory program and do just that. You'll work with your advisor to turn those favorite homework assignments of yours into a future career as you're exploring your new passions. At Western, it's not just about what you're doing in the classroom, but it's also those out of classroom experiences. We offer athletics, basically 4 different kinds, including our NCAA division athletics. We also have mountain sports, club sports, and our intramurals. We also have 50 different clubs and organizations. These are all student started and student led. They range in everywhere from academic-based programs to arts and music and theater, as well as passion and service. Our Multicultural Center and our Wilderness Pursuits offices also consistently put on events that are favorites amongst our students, and they look forward to them every year. There is absolutely something for everyone, and if you're not quite finding your niche in those different 50 clubs that we have, you could always start your own. We are absolutely dedicated to the success of our students at Western and offer a whole host of support services to help you achieve those goals and ambitions that you have set for yourself. This includes our disability services office, academic services, career services to help you write out that resume, as well as math tutoring and writing centers. And then we also have our EPIC mentors. EPIC stands for Experienced Peers Initiating Connections. They are upperclassmen students who have been hired and trained to act as mentors. Every incoming student at Western is automatically assigned one of these EPIC mentors, and they're your person for your entire first year that you're on campus. Our EPIC mentors and even our mentees say that some of their favorite things is going for a hike with their people and just talking through the stresses and the challenges that college are facing, and then helping to get them over that hump so that they're ready for that test the next day or whatever happens to be troubling them at that time. Definitely want to touch base on our affordability at Western. Our tuition is coming in at just under $7,000 for our in-state students. This is a full year pricing for you. 80% of our students are receiving some form of financial aid, and 100% of our students are considered for merit aid as soon as you are accepted. That merit aid is based off of your GPA, so the higher your cumulative GPA is, the more scholarship dollars you'll receive. These start at a 3.35 GPA and go up from there. We also offer a bunch of different other scholarships that you can apply for as well. We absolutely want you to come on out and check out campus for yourself. If you want to come in person, you can go to western.edu/visit to see your options and sign up for something. But if virtual is more what you're looking for, you can go to western.edu/recruitment events and see what our upcoming virtual presentations are. Application process, super simple, super easy. It is open for fall of 2022. We're rolling admissions and test optional, and you can use the code GOWESTERN2022 to waive that application fee. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm going to turn it back over to our facilitator.
Thank you, Brianna. We're now going to transition to our next presenter at the University of Northern Colorado.
Great. You're going to get my screen shared. Thanks, Jasmine. Thank you all for being here. My name is John Myers. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions here at the University of Northern Colorado. I'm thrilled to chat with you all this evening and give you just another tour, one of the 6 around the state of one of the schools here in Colorado. So this first picture here, I want to leave it here just for a second to kind of talk about some of our kind of the ideas and quick facts about UNC. So we were founded in 1889. UNC is one of the mid-sized universities here in Colorado, about 10,000 undergraduate students and about 3,000 on the graduate side, so 13,000. 91% of those are full-time students for us. And so we kind of offer that mid-size Division I athletics and part of the Big Sky Conference. We just had started our football season this year with Colorado's own Ed McCaffrey. So that name may be familiar to you as well. Just kind of look at this picture for a second. You'll see that one of the glorious sunsets that we get here in Colorado from one of the higher points on our campus. And then you also see the sidewalks. You'll think, why is this guy talking about sidewalks? I think it's important to look here and just know that no path is straight. We are at UNC are students first, and we want you to be successful here and find your path and find what it is you want to do academically, socially, in and out of the classroom. So it's something that we're a students first university. Our president talks about that from the top down. So from the administration through the faculty, staff, throughout campus, we are making decisions based on how they impact our students here at the University of Northern Colorado. This just kind of breaks those students down at a glance, just to kind of show you exactly kind of what we, as far as our student population. So most of our students come from Colorado. We do get about 13% from out of state, 7% from our WUI population. But this kind of brings it down 47 states and 41 countries represented here at the University of Northern Colorado. A couple of things we're very proud of on this slide. 31% of our UNC students are first-year students do identify as students of color, while 43% of our incoming first-year students are first-generation students. So we definitely, as you've heard this evening, lots of schools really cater to demographics of folks on campus. We want to be supportive of all folks on campus in all of our academic areas. Folks on campus want you to be successful here at UNC and want to see you graduate in that 4-year time frame as well. Just kind of a few things here. We do have a cancer research lab on campus and rehabilitation center that's open to the public. So it's cool for our students to be able, whether they're pre-health, nursing, whatever it is, biomedical sciences, they can go to the chemo, the cancer patient exercise lab, rehab center, and do internships, just observe to see if that's where they want to be, that kind of thing. So lots of opportunities, lots of involvement in and around campus. And also kind of narrow down that size down for you a little bit. I mentioned about 10,000 on the undergrad side, 100 undergraduate programs to choose from, lots of options. In that 100, our top 5 majors, kind of business administration, nursing, elementary education, psychology, sport and exercise science. So you'll see lots of options. Those are very different programs, but lots of options to consider in your quest for finding that exact major. As Brianna shared, there's lots of undecided students, undeclared students that enter. And so it's a great opportunity to kind of be able to choose what exactly you want to do. Our average class size here is 27. Our biggest classes will be that 40 to 50, 60 students maybe. We really focus on the mid-size side of it and be an experiential education and the hands-on side of it in the classroom. I'd like to highlight 4 things here about our academic programs. You'll benefit from our innovative teaching. Teaching is in our DNA. We were founded as the state's normal school, which means we were the education school in the state back in our founding years. So that's a very important piece of the puzzle. You also cultivate your unique potential and UNC's just right size and unique approach to education, where you can explore to find out where your passions are and then pursue those at UNC. That's the sidewalk analogy that I used earlier. You also hear you'll grow outside the classroom. UNC is a leader in the community and civic engagement. So you have opportunities to grow within the community of Greeley. We're about an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes north of Denver. Greeley is about a population of 100,000 students. So lots of opportunities that way. And then finally, you'll succeed with individualized support from our faculty. Will know you by name. All of our classes are taught by faculty, no teaching assistants in the undergrad side of things. So that's kind of a little bit about the academic programs that you'll see at UNC. Also, the housing side of it's important to a lot of students. So we're a residential campus. We have 17 residential halls. We do require our first-year students to live on campus. About 3,000 is our on-campus living capacity. Among those 17 residence halls, we do have 4 tiers of residence halls. So we have the basic tier is kind of 2 people per room. 4 of rooms will share a bathroom, so kind of community spaces. That's kind of the traditional residence hall you'll think about. And then the tier 4 is kind of the top end, which is kind of the apartment style living you may want. And then tiers 2 and 3 in the middle, kind of more of the suite style where you may have a couple roommates sharing a bathroom or 2. So it's kind of suite style living. The cool thing about our tiers, anybody can live in any of the tiers, tier 1, 2, 3, or 4, and there's nothing reserved for one or another. A little bit unique here, we do have some unique living arrangements, including a pet-friendly option. So if you have a pet under 40 pounds and you're interested in that, that would be something you want to apply early and work through the process with us, because that is a popular piece of our living arrangements on campus. We also do have some residential connections in our campus. We think a lot of learning happens outside the classroom as well, in the residence halls, not just for living, but also for learning. So it's an important piece of our system. And then the application process, it's super simple. You can apply for free today. Now through the free app day, Future UNC Bear is a free app code. We just need your application, your transcripts. We are test optional, so the ACT and SAT scores are optional, and then we'll base your admission on GPA, course rigor, and then completion of academic courses. Letters of recommendation and personal statements, as has been said, is a popular thing for us to look at your file as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next presenter is Colorado State University.
Alrighty, thank you. I'm just going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. Alrighty, everyone. So welcome to this portion of the presentation for Colorado State University. My name is Ajane Hopkins. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I'm an admissions counselor. And then I also have another admissions counselor, Mercy, in the chat. I'm there to help answer any questions. But to get started with our presentation, I wanted to talk about the area that surrounds our campus, which is Fort Collins. I call it a little big city, and really because that population that's posted up there on that slide, that is because it doesn't feel as busy as a big city like Denver, but it's definitely a bit larger than some of the more small towns in rural Colorado. That population also includes our student population as well as the residents of Fort Collins, because we just feel that we have a strong enough community and our students are involved enough in that we just have this big sort of family here. We are also an hour away from Denver. This played a huge role in why I chose to go to CSU, because I am an alumni. I knew I wanted to be far enough away from home to where I didn't have to see my family every day and I can have independence, but it was definitely close enough for me to go back home when I did feel homesick. We are a very outdoorsy and bike-friendly town, so there's a few statistics up there about how bike-friendly we are. But if you are not interested in the outdoors, sort of like I was, the little fun fact I learned is that Old Town, which is our downtown area, was the inspiration behind Main Street USA at Disneyland. And so in Old Town, not only do you get to see that cool aspect in the historic buildings, but you can also get check out some local shops and restaurants as well. And so also with our campus for our academics, we have 8 colleges which house our 250 programs of study. So this just means that we have all sorts of opportunities for students to learn and get involved in. So sticking to that, we do focus a lot on research too. And so we are a Carnegie Research One institution, which essentially means that we have so many research opportunities here for our students, and you can get involved in those as early as your first year. So I know I was able to participate in a research competition, not only that ended up, you could win $1,000 scholarships, but also it helped me navigate my major and what I wanted to study by partnering me with a mentor who was the head of my department. So research is super cool here. As far as class sizes, we talk about them in lectures and labs. So we have those lecture size classes that can be anywhere from about 15 students to about 150 students. But we do have TAs or teachers assistants who are there to also support you. So they're there to help you with not only office hours outside of the classroom, but we have labs where our classes are broken down into about 20 students. And so you get to meet with your instructor or your TA and talk through some of the topics and areas of focus that were talked about in those larger lectures. And then as you get further down into your major, those class sizes do tend to shrink. And so I ended up having a class that only had about 10 or 15 students in my capstone by the time I was finished with CSU. So for more student life, we have all sorts of other opportunities to get involved, and we talk about that in support and enrichment. So support is there to kind of help you navigate throughout your class time, and then enrichment is really about enhancing that academic experience as well as building community. And so we have about 500 clubs and student organizations on our campus, and we have so many because they're all student started. So if you don't find something here that fits your needs, you're always welcome to start something for yourself, and we can help you navigate that as well. We do have 7 student diversity programs and service offices. I love these offices because not only are they there to help you academically with tutoring, but they're also there to center around identities, help you grow, learn, and then provide other resources like food pantries, mentoring programs, and then student employment as well. I do want to mention that although these service offices have specific identities in their titles, any student is welcome to use them for their program services and then just the space in general as well. CSU really loves our traditions, and so we also have a list of 70 things to do before we graduate, and that really helps you get involved into that student life and see what else the campus has to offer. My favorite tradition is taking a picture with our mascot, Cam the Ram. He's located in the center of this slide. Cam is really cool because he gets to hold a piece of CSU's tradition and history in his name. So before we were CSU, we were Colorado Agricultural and Mechanical College. And so there's it in his name, CAM, for Cam the Ram. We have all sorts of other opportunities like studying abroad, and we even have what we call Semester at Sea. And so that's like that TV show, Sweet Life on Deck, where you live on a boat and then you dock at different locations and get to learn about different cultures and other areas of study that fit into your major, all while traveling. And so for the admissions process, just getting through and becoming a RAM, we have a holistic review. And so what that means is we don't look at just one specific thing because we know one thing doesn't tell the entire story. So we ask for several materials from, not only a part of your application, but we ask for a personal essay, letters of recommendation, and then we will review anything else that you've submitted. We are test optional, and so what this means is that we are not requiring you to submit your test scores. However, if you do submit them, we will look at them, and it can only help you, it cannot hurt you. Our application is on the Common App, so you can check that out and just add us there. There's a few other opportunities here that are listed up here, but also I have my contact information as well as Mercy's as well. If you want to check out Colorado State University, and we just want you to find your state and find your fit. So thank you and go Rams. And I'll pass it back to Jasmine.
Thank you so much. So that concludes the presentation portion of our session for today, but we're now going to transition to the Q&A. Again, if you have any questions for our presenters, feel free to drop them in that Q&A section. I want to encourage our presenters to return. Feel free to turn your cameras on, and I'm going to pose a question to the group. So our presenters will respond to the question in the order in which they presented. First question, what is one myth you like to debunk on the college admissions process?
I would say one on our end, I think, is that there's a lot of emphasis that's been placed for a long time on just raw numbers like GPA and test scores. And I think you heard from a lot of us that we're all pretty much at this point test optional, or it's just one part of our review process. And when we're reading applications here at Mine specifically, we're looking way beyond those numbers. Don't get me wrong, it's great to have really good academic metrics by the numbers, but we're going to look at that whole history, what you've done academically, how you've challenged yourself. So when you're thinking about your college applications, remember that you are more than just those numbers, and that there's much more to your story than what those numbers tell us. And that's what we like to hear. The more we know about you, the more we know about your experiences, the better decision we can make for you.
I think for mine, it would be a lot of students ask what acceptance rates are. And I think there's a big narrative around a lower acceptance rate equaling a better education. And that's not true necessarily in any means, right? It's just every year is different for every university based off the percentage that they're going to admit based off of what the goals for the university are. So take that with a grain of salt, that acceptance rates does not equivalent to a better education.
Firsthand experience, I was talking to one of my nieces about the college process, and she had a question and she was a little hesitant about reaching out to her admissions counselor. And so I think one of the myths are, sometimes students think they can't reach out, but admissions counselors love to hear from the candidates and the prospective students. So I think keeping those lines of communication open, asking questions, small or large, going through text, email, phone calls, etc., is the best way to really stay in touch with your admissions usher that'll help guide you into the academic experience that you're looking for. So ask as many questions as you want. Admissions counselors are there to help you.
I would say one myth or thing that I hear students saying a lot is a fear of saying that they don't know what they want to do. So a myth is that you do not have to have it all figured out at this point in time. Part of the last couple of years of high school as well as college is exploring those options and seeing what's out there for you. So you can leave things in that unknown field. I know it's hard when people are always asking, like, what do you want to study? Is usually one of the first questions you're asked, but you can say, I don't know, or undecided.
Yeah, I think as Nicole mentioned, the admission rates or acceptance rates, I think it's important to know that colleges and universities are looking for fit, just as you are looking for the right fit. You heard that tonight, I think, among many of the presenters, that they're looking for a fit as you are, and so you're going to find your right spot, and not to get hung up on the details of percentages and that kind of thing for admission side of things. You present your story, you do so effectively. When that's considered by admission offices, I think it'll be a good thing for you.
Yeah, something that my supervisors often shared is that we're Office of Admissions, not Office of Denial. So we're always looking to make sure students are finding their fit, and that's probably why we hear that acceptance rates are always or tend to be a little bit higher depending on the year, and that's because we've found students who have found their fit. So it's not just about searching for students to deny or looking for issues in the applications. This is about helping students and getting those questions answered and helping them get to higher education.
Thank you all. Good responses from the group. Final question here. What's one thing you want students to remember about your school? So again, we'll start with Max.
I would say for us, I think, if you're that student who really likes to learn with your hands, learn by doing, we can be a really good fit for students, right? There's a lot of factors that go into that, but if you're really passionate about the STEM fields and you want to jump into that right away, we're going to let you do that. There's no restrictions or anything. You get to jump into that experience right away, which I think is way more enjoyable for students, but also, again, when you're talking about life after school, gives you some really good preparation.
For Regis, I really want students to remember, as a Jesuit university, we're equally concerned with who you become as a person as far as what you do career-wise. And our perfect fit student is really that student that feels that they're called to so many different things, that they're called to maybe a field of study, but they also have this draw for service and this draw for seeing people, caring for people in other avenues, and making the world more just and humane. That is kind of us in a nutshell.
At Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design, we want you to remember that if you're a creative person, I think all of us have that creative drive. It's just a matter of tapping in and tuning in and learning some of the principles and elements in order to earn money and make it into a profession. And so at REMCAD, we have these academic standards that are very high, and you're producing a lot of academic work, but it's project-based. And so it's a lot of the hands-on work. And so the best way to become a better artist and designer is to keep creating and making work. And so we're really going to get you in that wheelhouse where you are constantly being innovative and being challenged and pushed. And it's a small community environment and everybody's creative. So it feels friendly and it's not as scary.
And for Western, we always like students to know that we are one of your public options here in Colorado. And even though we are a smaller university, that doesn't mean that we have less opportunities or less on the academics fronts for you. It just means that the opportunities that we do have are around and available for all students, regardless of major and background. So there really is a chance to have a diverse educational experience as well as extracurricular experience at Western.
At UNC, just keep in mind that we're mid-sized, so about that 10,000, but so you get kind of the bigger school opportunities with a smaller school feel in the classroom. Focus around that student's first idea.
For Colorado State University, something I'd want you all to remember is that we're all about community here. We hope that a part of finding that fit is also feeling at home. And so we have all sorts of opportunities for students to get involved, both with their majors and academic interests, and then outside in our student life as well. And one way we do that is through our traditions. So we're always pushing those and getting involved and just really feeling at home.
Thank you all. So that concludes our virtual college fair for today. But I do have a few closing announcements. So as you exit from this Zoom session, a survey will appear. It's approximately 5 questions, but please complete the survey. It's extremely helpful as we aim to improve our virtual college fair offerings in the future. Also want to remind you that you can sign up for additional sessions by visiting our registration site. And finally, you can access this recording by visiting strivescan.com/Greater Denver. I want to thank all of our amazing presenters for joining us, but also thank you to our attendees for taking time out of your busy day. I hope everyone has a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.